show me what's your job now and what you're making in your shop?
Yeah, well, so I'm building a race car.
A race car?
Yeah, it's an old air-cooled Volkswagen Beetle, I guess. What do you call it in France?
La coccinelle.
La coccinelle, yeah. It doesn't look like much.
Yeah.
The book, Éloge du Carburateur, I can't pronounce it.
Éloge du carburateur.
Yeah. Ode to the Carburetor, is that? Yeah. Which is funny because this car will have fuel injection. And it's heresy, I know. But yeah, that book was an attempt to basically try to make sense of my own experience of work, because it just didn't match the official kind of ideology of work. In particular, just the fact that I'd felt more intellectually engaged doing various manual work than in these, so-called knowledge work. In the course of doing that, I got into the history of, the assembly line and sort of the history of capitalism and transformations in work, and it just became fascinating. And in the end, I felt like I had, a pretty good account of why work is so often dissatisfying today.
So when you was working on your first book, did you observe that we as a group of people were making less stuff than before?
Yeah, I do think the use of tools has kind of receded from our common life. It's obviously connected to the globalizing of the economy. And I mean, part of why I think that's confusing to people is that the actual experience of being a knowledge worker often doesn't correspond to a feeling of freedom. It often feels like you're a mere clerk who's executing a plan that was conceived somewhere else. There's a kind of relentless logic in contemporary capitalism to separate thinking from doing. And I think what's really appealing about the skilled trades is that they resist that logic.
Is using our hands as a tool and trying to make stuff with it a way to take back control of the world?
A lot of people will come home and knit a sweater or build an addition on their house to reclaim a scale on which everything is intelligible to them, right? Like you're completely in charge of it and you have a kind of ownership over it. So that's what I take the do-it-yourself thing to be, as a kind of compensation for a felt lack of agency at work.
What's the reason you continue doing this?
The reason I'm building this car is because I'll admit it's an obsession. I've wanted to build this car since I was a teenager, and that's enough, I think.
You're not hurting anyone, and you're just like...
Yeah, right. And I mean, what else are you going to do? Watch television? I mean, It could be a nice way to spend a weekend.